Hi guys, welcome to my channel. My name is Teresa. Today I will be going over cryptid prompts for row 3 of the bingo board for the Cryptid Creatures Readathon. Hey everyone, welcome back to my channel, or welcome if you are new. I'm so glad to have you here. This is one of many of the recommendation videos that I am doing for my readathon, the Cryptid Creatures Readathon. This is the readathon that I created, and it runs through the entire month of September. So if you are not yet signed up or don't know much about it, there is a playlist down below with all of the information, sign up links, Discord, everything will be in the description. The announcement video is in the playlist, but I will also link it up above. So there are multiple ways that you guys can participate and find out about this readathon. Really, to participate, the only thing you have to do is read a book that fits one of the squares and you have officially participated. But of course, if you want to go for a bingo, you are more than welcome to. Another thing before we get further into this video, since we are only, let's see, by the time this video goes out, we will be about a week, maybe less than a week time from the start of the readathon, which is super exciting. So I wanted to remind you all that there are bookmarks. So we have our just generic Cryptid Creatures Readathon bookmark. Hopefully that's focusing. Then I have Mothman, Bigfoot, and Loch Ness Monster. The link for my Etsy store will be in the description below if you are interested in picking one of these up. There are very limited supplies and I will not be restocking the store. I can say if you want the Bigfoot one, you should probably get it sooner than later. This one is the most popular one, and I don't have many of these left. So make sure to head on over to my Etsy store after this video and order yourself some bookmarks if you would like some. Again, everything is linked in the description. Now that we've got all that stuff out of the way, let's get into what you're all waiting for, and that is the book recommendations. So for row 3 of the bingo board, we have the Thunderbird, the Mongolian Deathworm, the Groot Slang, and the Rougarou. So I will be talking about recommendations for those specific cryptid prompts, because in this readathon, you can either read a book about the cryptid, or you can read a book that fits the prompt, or combine them if that is possible. It's totally up to you. Whatever way you want to go is fine. So today we'll be talking about specific books that fit the cryptid prompt, and then tomorrow's video we'll be talking about specific books that fit the prompt, and then the day after that will be row 4, and so on and so forth. We're almost done, guys. We have today's 3 more videos after this, and then all my recommendations are up. Holy moly, that it's been a labor of love. I hope you all have really been enjoying these videos, because I have had fun making them, but they're also stressing me out. So I am glad for this to be over and I could just move on to the actual readathon. So let's go ahead and talk about some books. I gotta admit, this is probably the hardest row to find cryptid books for. So at least from what I can access, there just really isn't a lot of books out there that relate to these specific cryptids. For some of these, I really don't have hardly anything, but I did try my best to find at least one book that would work for the cryptid, because I really want to be able to offer that for you guys. So first up, like I said, we have Thunderbird. I do have a few options physically here. I will talk about those first, and then we'll go into some more that I just found online. I will say that other than a few of these, which I will mention, I have not read any of these books. So if I'm recommending them to you, it's just because I know of them having the cryptid in it. It's not because they're good books per se. So please don't get mad at me if the books are horrible. And also, I do have a master list of all the cryptid books that I could find on my Goodreads, which will be linked down below, as well as in the Discord. So let's just dive into what I have for Thunderbird. So first up is this book here called The Thunderbirds and the First Humans. I am not even going to attempt to pronounce the authors and illustrators' names, because I know I will say them horribly, horribly wrong. I'm going to go ahead and show you the back of the book. Hopefully the glare is not too bad, so you guys can see a little bit about the authors and illustrators. But unfortunately, I mean, the only one I know for sure I can pronounce is the illustrations are by Sam Zimmerman. The other 2 names I do not know how to pronounce, and I'm not even going to attempt nor am I going to attempt the native title for this, because once again, I have a hard enough time speaking English. So this is just a beautiful book that it's a little picture book, watercolor illustrations. As you can see, there are not many words per page. I mean, this page doesn't even have words. Like, they're absolutely beautiful illustrations. But it's just a story of, like it says, the Thunderbirds and the First Humans, which is a Native American story of, I believe, how we came to be. So it's like their creation story. This story is from the Ojibwe tribe of Native Americans. So if you're interested in learning the more like roots of the Thunderbird, because if you don't know, the Thunderbird is a Native American legend, cryptid, myth, story, whatever you want to say, whatever you want to call it. The Thunderbird comes from that culture. So I'm definitely going to read this because I just think this is going to be a really interesting book, learning more about the Ojibwe belief system. We have another book that also has Native American representation because, again, the Thunderbird is a Native American creature. And this is River Marked by Patricia Briggs. Now, I will say this is like, I can't remember I think this might be book 7 in a series. It is in the Mercy Thompson series, but you can read this as a standalone. I mean, you might miss some little things here and there, but if you very much just like, I want to read a book with Thunderbird in it, this book does have a Thunderbird representation. Now, it's not following Thunderbird. Our main character is a coyote shapeshifter, and she was raised by werewolves. So this is paranormal, like urban paranormal. Here, actually, they go on to, it takes place in the Pacific Northwest. They're off the banks of the Columbia River, and unfortunately, there have been some deaths and missing person cases happening near the river and some animal attacks, and so they're trying to investigate what is going on. There is a relationship in here that will be spoiled in this book. If you care about that, if you want to read the series and kind of see it from the start, then I would say skip this one. But if you don't care and you're like, I just want to read a cool book, this one's one of my favorite, honestly. Like, Mercy Thompson series is one of my favorite series of all times, and this is one of my favorites in the series because this one focuses a lot on the Native culture, Native lore. She is half Native and half white. There is a Thunderbird that does make an appearance in this story. Now, there are speculations that Thunderbird may be a real creature, that what people have been seeing for years and years and years is actually a pterosaur that never died out. If you don't know what a pterosaur is, it is a flying reptile, or a dinosaur is what, you know, most people would classify it as. There is a thought out there that the Thunderbird is actually a pterosaur, and that's what people have been seeing all this time. It's actually a real creature. It's just a dinosaur that never died off. So you can pick up this book, which is Flight of the Quetzalcoatlus. Say that fast because I don't want to mispronounce it. I probably still did. And this is by Rex Stone. This is book 4 in the Dinosaur Cove series. If you do want to pick up this book, it'll work for Flight, and it'll also work for Dinosaur. So you can fulfill 3 prompts with this one book. This is a children's chapter book. Very, very quick. I mean, it's got illustrations. It's 65 pages long. So if you're looking for something very quick and easy to read, you can pick up this. And I will say that anything that has any kind of flying dinosaur or pterosaur in the book, you can use for Thunderbird, because again, there is a school of thought that says Thunderbird is actually a pterosaur, a flying reptile. Quetzalcoatlus, if you are unaware, was the biggest one to ever exist. So yeah, that is another recommendation. You can totally read one regarding that side of the Thunderbird legend or lore if you want. Now that I have gone over the books that I physically have in hand regarding the Thunderbird, let's talk about some ones that I found online that might be interesting. So we do have one called Shadow of the Thunderbird, and that is by Dallas Tanner. It is book 1 in the series Cryptids. It says, for the past 160 years, giant birds have been reported in the skies above the Black Forest region of northern Pennsylvania. Now it is up to one man and one woman to find out where they came from and where they've gone. So this follows a failed PhD candidate who is also an assistant museum curator named Ian, and he and this woman named Alma, who is a cartographer, basically get contacted by the CEO of a secretive organization, basically giving them the opportunity to seek out proof of the existence of Thunderbird. So if you're interested in that one, it's like a fantasy type of story. I have not read this one again, so the only one I have read so far is the Mercy Thompson one. So again, you know, I can't say with like much confidence that these are good books, but I can tell you that they're about Thunderbirds. Then we have a couple nonfictions. First up is Thunderbirds, America's Living Legends and of Giant Birds. This is by Mark A. Hall, and it's just a nonfiction of stories of large birds that people have seen over the years from Alaska, Canada, the Pacific Northwest, and into the Midwest, Appalachia, and Pennsylvania. The accounts are puzzling and hard to believe, yet eyewitnesses swear by what they saw. So our author is just basically compiling a bunch of information, evidence and firsthand accounts to basically present a case that these may be real creatures. Then we have A Guide to Sky Monsters, Thunderbirds, the Jersey Devil, Mothman, and Other Flying Cryptids. So as said, Jersey Devil, Mothman, those will definitely work for this one as well. This is by T.S. Mart with Mel Cabre, and this is just, again, a nonfiction guide to the flying cryptids, I believe, of America. There are 20 flying cryptids with legends that span the United States, with 70 hand-drawn illustrations. A guide to sky monsters, perfect for the believer and the skeptic alike, addresses the wider truth about flying cryptids and leaves us all to wonder whether the breeze was the wind or wing. This one sounds fun and interesting, so that is there if you guys want to read it. I will also say that I have briefly touched on in my broad cryptid recommendation video, which I will go ahead and link up above. I did mention a book that had a Thunderbird in it. I don't remember if there was more than one or not, but that video will be linked if you guys want to go watch it. It's basically just a overview of certain books that will cover multiple cryptids, and I did talk about Thunderbird. So if you want some more Thunderbird recommendations, you can go watch that video. Next up, we have the Mongolian Deathworm, and I only have one physical book to share with you today, and that is this one here called The Very True Legend of the Mongolian Deathworms by Sandra Frey. It is looks like quite a hilarious little children's picture book. I have not read this one because I am actually saving this one for the readathon so I can read it for the Mongolian Deathworm prompt. But we have, Mongolian Deathworms. So, would you be friends with a Mongolian deathworm? Warning, side effects may include electric shocks, fang bites, and poisoning by venom. So if you want just a fun little children's picture book, then this one could be one to pick up. Now let's talk about the ones that I don't have physically, but I have found online that might interest you. First off, we have another children's picture book that is Chasing the Mongolian Deathworm. This is by Anna Anderhagen, and it is a children's book basically just explaining what this cryptid is, where in the world the Mongolian desert is, also gives some more information about what scientists think it might be, talks about some sightings, different things like that. So again, if you're looking for a more lighthearted, fun, easy read, very short, I would recommend this one as well. Then we have a nonfiction that, quite honestly, I'm not too sure about. It sounds like it might be humorous as well. The name of the book is The Mongolian Deathworm: On the Hunt in the Gobi Desert, or How I Found the Worst Bathroom on Earth and Learned to Love Cheese-Flavored Vodka. That sounds disgusting, by the way. This is by Pat Spain. He has a show on Travel Channel called Legend Hunter, and this is his story about the time that he went to the Gobi Desert to find the deathworm and kind of his experiences that he had there. Him and a National Geographic film crew were searching for the truth behind the stories of the Mongolian deathworm. He had to wrestle a giant while intoxicated, risking indecent exposure, brave the world's most disgusting long drop bathroom, eat and drink toxic delicacies, wrangle a very jumpy electric eel, and testy spitting cobras, avoiding the temptation to smuggle archaeological artifacts and deal with bed bug and camel tick infestations while they traverse the least densely populated country in the world, Mongolia. Holy moly, I probably shouldn't have read that entire thing to you, but there you go. So if you're interested in that book, it is an option. This next one, I actually have to give credit to someone in the Discord. All I know them is by their Discord name, which is Starry, Starry. They posted their TBR, and this was on their list, and it was one that I had not seen yet. So I looked it up and was like, hey, this could totally count. So this is called Sand and Secrets, A Tale of the Mongolian Deathworm by Robert Greenberger, and Jason Whitley is the illustrator. Now, this does say it is book 17 in a series called Systema Paradoxia. I know nothing about this series. I've literally never heard about this book before I saw them post about it. I guess this series just tells tales of cryptids. So if you're interested, you can definitely look it up. I do not know if this is like you have to read in order or not, but I just know that this is Mongolian deathworm related. Academia can be ruthless. Academia in Russia can be perilous. An internship overseas at Moscow University becomes so much more when Ella is invited on an expedition to the Gobi Desert. And she basically is joining a search for the exclusive and deadly creature most consider the stuff of legends. Led by what may or may not be love, driven by what is definitely ambition, will Ella thrive or become one more secret lost beneath the sands? If that sounds interesting to you, you can definitely check this one out. And thank you to Starry for posting your TBR in the Discord so that I was able to add this one to the master list of cryptid books. I have to tell y'all, this next cryptid was the hardest one so far to find prompts for. And I think that is because it's supposedly a cryptid that only exists in one location in the entire world, and there's a lot of conflicting information about it. And that is the Groot slang. To my understanding, the Groot slang is it like guards this cave of diamonds, I believe in South Africa, and it is like a hybrid between a elephant and a cobra from my understanding. But there's definitely been some other depictions of it. So it was very difficult to find books that actually featuring the Groot slang. I did my best. This first one I want to talk to you about, I'm not 100% sure about this because on Goodreads, it does say that AI is an editor. And I personally do not want AI anywhere near the books I read. You might want to do your research on this one. I have no idea if it was AI written. I don't know. But it was one about the Groot slang, so I was like, well, I'll include it and let you guys come up with your own decisions on that. And that is The Platinum Abyss, Whispers of the Groot Slang. This is by Crystal Wallace, and again, it says AI editor, so not 100% sure what that means, but again, use your own discretion if you decide to look into this book. So this says, venture into the heart of South Africa, 2077, where the dazzling cityscape of Johannesburg masks an ancient secret buried deep beneath the sun-baked Karo Desert. So we have this place called the Platinum Abyss, and it is a geological marvel that whispers promises of untold riches, echoing the siren call of past gold rushes. This abyss holds perils far exceeding earthly treasures, rooted in Khoisan legends and guarded by a creature of myth, the Groot slang. Looks like someone, I'm just kind of skimming this, it looks like someone gets lost in the cave, and these two people have to basically go try and save them. One is a mining engineer, the other is a geologist. So again, use discretion with this one as far as if you decide to pick this one up or not, but it's about the Groot slang, so there you go. Another one that I found about the Groot slang is called Yomi and the Curse of Groot Slang. Now, this is book 3 in a series, I believe. I have no idea if you need to read these in order or not. I could not really find much information about them, but this is written by Davina Tajani. I'll just read a quick little synopsis here because that won't take it's easier than me trying to tell you about a book that I don't know. I've never read. When Yomi and her younger brother, Kaode, arrive in South Africa, they are greeted with stories of an abandoned town cursed by the powerful Nakara Groot slang. They soon learn the curse is real when it's triggered, and they team up with a group of children who are determined to break it once and for all. They set out on a quest for answers, but with secrets and surprises along the way. Will Yomi be ready to face the beast? So that's all I know about this, but if you're looking for like a children's or middle grade story about Groot slang, that is quite frankly the only one I could find. So that's all I have for you for Groot slang. I do know that one of the books I recommended in that, first broad cryptid recommendation book does have Groot slang in it. I believe it's Freaky Folklore. I could be incorrect on that one though, so make sure you go check out that video if you want another root slang recommendation. We are now on to the last cryptid in this row, and that is the Rougarou. Rougarou is the Cajun werewolf. I have a few books here to recommend to you. One that I have read, and I will go ahead and talk about that one first because I absolutely adored it, and that is Rougarou Magic, and it is by Rachel M. Marsh. This book, she basically says it's like a love letter to Cajun folklore. So Rougarou Magic, we're following a young girl whose mother gets married and they have to move to Chicago away from her home in the bayou of Louisiana. She is very unhappy where she is. And her first year there, she got teased horribly because of her accent and because of the fact that she is Cajun. And so she then decides, I'm going to a new school. No one's going to know I'm Cajun here. And she's trying to basically deny that part of herself. Well, her grandma sends her a little care package that happens to be a Rougarou. And so she is learning about this Rougarou, how to take care of it, and kind of learning the truth behind the Rougarou. And so she has to basically work with this Rougarou named Roo, and he gets her in all sorts of trouble as she is trying to compete for an art contest. And it is just an adorable book. It has a lot of like Cajun words and just Southern love in this book, so I highly recommend this one. It is a middle grade. So the rest of these I have not read. This next book, you guys, sounds kind of wild. It is The Adventures of Nick and Billy, The Mystery of the Rougarou. I do believe this is either a children's book, like a children's chapter book, or a middle grade. It doesn't say exactly. And it's the first day of summer in the swamps of Louisiana, which will work for the Bunyan prompt, which is on row 4. So just a little foreshadowing there. We are following a couple 12-year-old kids, one named Billy, one named Nick, and they're preparing for swamp camp. When they're preparing for this camp, they encounter an elderly man who is making a mad dash to escape the legendary swamp monster, the Rougarou. He's abandoning his home and is like, I'm never coming back. And the boys are like, what? You're just a crazy old man. They don't believe the Rougarou is real. And so they basically try to investigate to find out whether or not the Rougarou is a real thing or not. While they are on their adventure, they stumble upon the hideout of an escaped convict and his dim-witted cousin named Gatorbait. There's also a hillbilly mafia, and they get captured, and they have to basically survive and try to get out of this like situation. And there may or may not be a Rougarou. I don't know. It sounds kind of silly, but if that sounds fun to you, I mean, I'm hoping silly in a good way, you know. But yeah, there's that one. Last children's book that I want to recommend is Ruby the Rougarou. This is a series. I think there's only 2 books in the series, but the first one is An Unknown Intruder. And this is just a children's picture book. Ruby's adventures take place in the Manchaca swamp in Louisiana, where Ruby and his friend Marshmallow confront various situations arising there and overcome them with friendship, courage, and cunning. I believe that this is supposed to be books that like help children overcome scary situations or hard situations in their lives. So there is that one. Now let's go into some adult, more horror-leaning Rougarou stories. We have Killing the Rougarou by Sean M. Besley. This takes place on Friday the 13th in October. A 5-year-old girl named James meets a monster at the Shreveport Holiday Inn. People down south in Louisiana believe the legend of the Rougarou, that it is a werewolf that prowls the bayou. Others think it's just a folk tale, but this family knows true evil exists. The family's shared happiness is shattered that terrible Friday in October after attending the Louisiana State Fair. They move on in the aftermath, and even James, who grows into a great beauty, is always fearful of what hides in the night. Yes, they move to Texas, and there is a rural Texas boy named Charles Cat Thomas who meets up with James years later. He has his own tragic family history, and he really wants to protect James. It says, loving James comes at a terrible price, though, because the Rougarou is still out there watching. This might be considered paranormal romance. Honestly, I don't know. It doesn't really have any tags on Goodreads, but that one is there if you guys are interested in checking it out. Then we have a book called Rougarou. a werewolf thriller. And this is book 13 in the Sasquatch series by KT Toome. I have no idea if this is one that you need to read in order or not. It might be like the Mercy Thompson one where, like, yeah, you might get spoiled for some things, but it's not really that big of a deal if you read out of order if you don't care about spoilers. Because deep in the Louisiana bayou, a nightmare stalks the shadows. A young girl goes missing. Locals whisper of the Rougarou, said to punish the wicked. Our main character is named Lux, and I don't know if she is a detective or if she's some kind of paranormal investigator, but it looks like she is probably a recurring character in this series. Says she is called in to investigate it, and she doesn't believe in ghost stories until the bodies start turning up. Because Rougarou is a gripping supernatural thriller rooted in Cajun legend and bayou mystery, perfect for fans of folklore-based horror and relentless female leads. So if that one sounds interesting to you, that is an option. Then we have a book called Folklore Figures of French and Creole Louisiana, and this is by Nathan Rabalius. It's a nonfiction exploring the culture and the different folklore and kind of how the culture evolved from the French to Cajun, because if you don't know, the Cajun people, like a lot of their ancestry is from French immigrants from into America, into Louisiana, and they kind of took a lot of their French ancestry and blended it with the local native tribes and then the local communities there, and kind of became their own culture, which is the Cajun culture. This is a nonfiction that just talks about the different folklore and stuff like that and how it has affected the culture in Louisiana. So if you're looking for a nonfiction about a Rougarou and maybe some more specific Louisiana type of stories, this could be one for you. Please do make sure to check out that other video that I had mentioned that I linked up above. It's down below as well. It's basically just my broad recommendations for cryptids because there are multiple books that fit Rougarou in that one. You can also check out my TBR video if you are interested to know what I will be reading for the Readathon. I really hope to see you all in September for this Readathon. It's going to be so much fun. We are going to be pretty active on Discord, but if you don't have a Discord or don't want to sign up for Discord, you can still participate. Just make sure that if you post any kind of TBR, updates, what you've read, any of that across social media, that you use the hashtag Cryptid Creatures Readathon so that I can find you and make sure to give you a shout out and we can, like, you know, do all the fun things. Also, please, whether or not you're using Discord doesn't matter, please use the sign up form down in the description below, because that'll kind of give you an idea of how many people are interested in this and kind of give some cool stats and stuff like that, as well as, you know, whether or not this is something that I want to continue in the future. So please do make sure that you check out everything down below. Make sure you subscribe to my channel if you want. So if you guys like me and want to hang out more, you know, make sure you subscribe. Please do make sure to give this a thumbs up if you like this video. Comment down below if you are going to be participating or not. If not, totally cool. I understand. But if I mentioned a book that you are now interested in, let me know down below, because I'm really hoping that these recommendation videos are actually helping people. So please let me know down in the comments below. And if you are here and don't have anything to say but just want to say, hey, I was here, I watched your video, go ahead and leave a wolf emoji down in the comments below, or it can be any kind of dog or anything like that, but let's leave a wolf emoji for the Rougarou. I'm so excited. September is coming up very soon. I cannot wait. Guys, stay tuned for a few more recommendation videos coming your way. Happy cryptid hunting, and I hope to see you in my next video. Bye!